So a lot of you have been asking me how the new ASIC guidelines are going to affect my channel. So let's talk about it. Now I'll be referring to the actual guidelines, which I've got here on my iPad so I can refer to them and read the actual wording. I've also listened to some interviews with people who work at ASIC about this topic. I will not be going over any of the news reports that have been sensationalizing this. I will be dealing only with the facts. Finfluencers? Yuck, I'm a writer. Now, before we get into my content and whether I have breached any of the guidelines so far, I wanted to talk about an unintended consequence. If you're following any of the financial community within Australia, either on YouTube or on Instagram, you'll notice that some of your favorite creators are getting out of the space. They're no longer talking about their experiences, they're no longer talking about what products and services that they like because they don't want to deal with any of the fines or any of the consequences that ASIC has said that they're going to enforce. With so many of my peers no longer wanting to talk about investing or any of that because they're scared of the consequences, it's left a big hole open for unscrupulous people to jump into. There's going to be a big gap in social media on advice, which I feel a lot of not so nice people are going to take advantage of. They are not going to care about the Australian laws, and in fact they'll be hiding behind firewalls and VPNs, and so ASIC won't be able to find them anyway. And I feel like this is going to be really detrimental to the consumer because so far the majority of the people in this space are just talking about their experiences and what has worked for them. So the one thing that ASIC is most scared about, people giving unscrupulous advice, I feel like they've just created the perfect environment for that to happen, which is such a shame. But let's talk about my content and what I'll be doing going forward. Now, I will admit that a lot of my titles can be quite clickbaity, like the 5 best ETFs, things like that. But a lot of the content isn't as controversial when you actually get in because I'm usually providing factual information rather than my opinions. I have only just started going through my videos one by one. I've got a lot of videos and a lot of hours to get through to make sure that I haven't breached any of the guidelines. So far, there's been a few times where I have mentioned companies or ETFs that I think are good investments, but I've never recommended anyone to buy anything. So while I'm against that line, I haven't quite crossed it yet, but I haven't reviewed all of my videos yet, not even close. So there's a very good possibility that I have in some videos implied that this is a good investment and have advised somebody that it's a good buy. So I've got to be very careful of my wording. But let's go through the guidelines and see which ones actually apply to me, because there are a few that do not apply to me at all. I have never been paid a commission. I don't have affiliate links. I've never promoted a sponsored product on my channel on any paid financial services. I've never been paid anything, a cent, for any of my videos apart from YouTube revenue, which according to the guidelines isn't a problem because I'm not actually recommending any of these ads. I don't even know what ads are shown on my videos, so I'm not recommending them, and that's perfectly fine. So that's the only income I've ever received on my videos. I've never had any sponsored products, no affiliate links, no paid commissions, nothing like that. I also don't have any sort of business on the side where I'm providing consulting or anything like that. I have no clients, no one-on-one consulting, anything like that. I write books because I'm a writer, and I do YouTube because I enjoy making videos. And I consider myself first and foremost an educator and try and keep my information pretty factual. But just because I think that I'm keeping my information pretty factual and pretty balanced does not mean that I'm not breaking any of the guidelines. The guidelines that specifically relate to me and my content will be, have I said anything misleading, such as have I promised a return on a particular product? Have I talked about something having no risk? Have I talked about guaranteed results? So far of the videos that I've reviewed, I have not. But that doesn't mean I haven't said that in any of my videos, so that's why I'm going through them one by one. The other guideline that applies to me is, have I promoted any particular company to invest in or any particular ETF that I think is a good investment? That would be considered providing advice rather than information. I'm allowed to provide balanced information. I am not allowed to provide advice. So a lot of the research videos I do, I actually go in and look at the actual figures that we have. None of that is based on speculation or opinion. It's based on facts, the facts that we have based on the company performance. Now, the results I get at the end of the videos, is that considered advice because I've come up with 5 or 6 companies or whatever that fit a certain criteria? Am I advising people to buy those companies because they fit a certain set of criteria? I need to go through my videos very carefully and see what wording I've used to make sure that I haven't said that anyone should buy it. I have said that they deserve further research. I have said that maybe you want to put them on your watch list. I haven't recommended anyone to buy them, but I'm very close to that line. So I'm going to think really carefully about those videos to see whether I think that they've advised somebody to buy something when that wasn't my intention. But intention is not what the guidelines go on about. Now, some of the videos that I have not reviewed yet that may be problematic are the ones where I'm talking about my favorite ETFs. While I do the same thing I do with companies, where I go in and look at the past performances, I look at the dividend yields and things like that, is me saying these are my favorite ETFs considered giving advice? Is it considered me telling someone to buy them? I never outright say you should buy them. I always talk about the risks, but I feel like those ones might be crossing the line a little bit. I haven't reviewed them properly yet, but I may have to take those ones down. So what about going forward? What does this mean for my channel? Well, you've probably noticed that I haven't posted for quite some time. That has nothing to do with the ASIC guidelines and more to do with I just kind of got burnt out and just started living my life. I went to Paris and not really thinking about making videos. So I'll probably take some more time out as I go through and start to review my past content to see if any of them breach any of the guidelines or get close to that line. If they do, I will delete those videos. But if I do, I'll probably remake them in the future anyway, but making sure that I'm not advising anybody to buy or sell any particular company or ETF. Am I scared of the fines or the threat of going to jail? Well, ASIC itself has said in the interviews that I watched that those $1 million fines actually apply to corporations, not to individual people. All the news reports that are going on about the massive fines and the jail time are overhyping it. These are the maximum penalties for the worst offenders. But of course I want to stay within the Australian law in regards to talking about finance. I've become financially independent from investing in the stock market, so it is one of my passions, so I'm not going to stop talking about it. I just need to make sure that I'm very careful about my wording and what I say. So that's it. I may have to delete some videos, but not a lot is going to change for me. I probably will take a little bit more of a break while I go through my videos, but other than that, I'll be back soon-ish, not sure when. And in the meantime, I'll just be doing fun stuff. Anyway, take care. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Bye.